All right, so we are in. I hope that means we are screen sharing. I want to go to my Facebook. By the way, interesting about cloning. I don't know how real that is. He does show a lot of stuff. Interesting. But I told you Trump's got a clone. That's what the Twin Towers are all about. So, oh, my friend Eddie. Sorry there, Eddie. And I'll be sure to watch that. You're listening to a charlatan there, though, Eddie. I'm just telling you. I love you, but he's a charlatan. Iron Man, I am. Remember, God referred to himself as the great I am. And then Jesus said, before Abraham was, I am. And that's when they wanted to pick up their stones and stone him. And Beyonce, of course, did an album titled what? I Am. So, I am Iron Man, IMDb. This is what your final evolution is going to be, by the way. Man's final evolution, because they, of course, make up evolution. Evolution's a lie. And so I went through each of these and I said, breaking, President Trump has changed his mind and decided to follow CDC recommendation to wear a mask. Again, pagans wear masks for rituals. This is a ritual for Trump receiving his corona, his crown, but also Trump putting on the mask equals Batman. And Donald Trump is Batman. Why is it important for you to know that Donald Trump is Batman? The reason why it's important to know that Donald Trump is Batman is because in The Dark Knight Rises, it's Batman who rises from the abyss and comes back to save Gotham, which is what the Antichrist will be doing. He will be saving the world from its destruction because 1/4 of the earth has just been wiped out by World War III. That's what you're told in Revelation chapter 6. You got the 4 horses of the apocalypse. The first horse, it's the Antichrist receiving his crown. And a crown is corona, corona is crown. And what we have to understand is that the Christian Bale character is a billionaire Bruce Wayne from Gotham, which is Donald Trump, the billionaire from New York City. The QAnon people say that Trump is saving the children under the city. In The Dark Knight Rises, the children from Wayne's foundation who outgrow the foundation because it ran out of money, they go underground. So Bruce Wayne in The Dark Knight Rises is also saving the children who are going underground. This is all a psychological operation. What they do in movies is remember, it's Ephesians 6:12. It's not flesh and blood enemies you've got. It's spiritual. It's principalities. It's the fallen angels, folks. And the fallen angels are ruling the world through the ghost and the machine, through artificial intelligence. So you have to watch my video on that. That artificial intelligence is the ghost in the machine, is the mark of the beast. And if I, just to give you an idea and take you to that video, it's the most important video that you can possibly watch. Artificial intelligence is the ghost in the machine, mark of the beast. You're going to be uploading demons, becoming what? Iron Man, exactly. So it's very important to know that Bruce Wayne, or that Christian Bale, is playing the role of Batman, because Christian Bale also plays somebody who gets cloned or has a twin in the movie. And think about the Twin Towers in the movie, The Prestige, which is the exact same actors, same director. It's Christopher Nolan, who directed The Dark Knight Rises, Batman Begins, that whole trilogy. He also directed The Prestige, and he also had Christian Bale and Michael Caine. And Michael Caine playing the same role in both movies, helping the Christian Bale character. And the Christian Bale character ends up having a twin or a clone. They show cloning in the movie. I've had my friend Joey, he said, well, Christian Bale's character is a twin. Either way, twin or clone. I believe that he was a clone all along. That's why he was happy to die, because he had no soul, and that's why he was unable to connect with women. And of course, we showed you in another one that that Donald Trump, Melania knocks his hand out of the way, doesn't want to hold hands with him. That's because that's the clone. The clone has no affection. So you have to watch every one of these. I know they could be boring and the sound's bad on the first 2 or 3 of them. So just, use a speaker box. If you don't have a speaker box, buy one. They're cheap to crank up your YouTube. But hopefully you can watch YouTube on your television through a Roku or a PlayStation. And that way you can crank up your speakers and you could hear my videos. Okay, it's very important that you start at part 1, that Donald Trump is the Antichrist. So you go to the next one. There's Donald Trump posing with Christian Bale. Both of them fighting the QAnon crime. Isn't that sweet? There's Trump at the Dark Knight Rises premiere. Apparently they used one of his Trump Tower buildings in the movie. People want to project that Donald Trump is John F. Kennedy Jr. Well, the Kennedy bloodline is one of the 13 Illuminati families, folks. An American Psycho, he says, I have all the characteristics of being human. Because why? Because he's not human, he's a clone. Flesh, blood, skin, hair, but not a single clear identifiable emotion, except for greed and disgust. In the movie American Psycho, he orders a Corona. Predictive programming is lesser magic, but they do it because it gives them justification. See, they get spiritual satanic powers by showing you the truth cryptically. And what does the Lord say? He says, be as wise as serpents, but as harmless as doves. So I don't want to harm anybody. I don't even tell people to go out and riot in the streets or nothing. But the Lord has given me that fallen angel. See, the fallen angels are playing 3-dimensional chess. The people that have taken the oath and are running the world for Lucifer are playing chess. And the rest of the world is playing checkers. Well, his sheep are allowed to be playing the 3-dimensional chess that the fallen angels are doing. We're able to keep up with this. Why? Because the fallen angels have to tell the truth through the oath takers who run Hollywood and run your politics. Yes, even Donald Trump. You can't get where Trump is unless of course you were in the system. And people go, well, Donald Trump, he's not one of them. Yes, he is. He's the main one of them. The main secret society has a Scottish Rite and a York Rite. Scottish Rite, Trump's mom born in Scotland. York Rite, Trump's mom moved to New York where Donald Trump was born. Where? In Queens. Why was it named Queens? Because that's where the Antichrist was going to be born. The Queen of Heaven, the Queen of the Universe. Church on I-4, Mary, Queen of the Universe. That's Lucifer, Queen of the Universe. Lucifer is Satan in a transgendered role as a female. He is Mother Nature. He is the Mother Goddess, Gaia. The Twin Towers in the movie The American Psycho, the Christian Bale character is walking by the 2 Trumps. The 2 towers go down. The 1 tower comes back up called what? The One World Trade Center, One World Tower, One World, the One World Order. When Trump comes back after his clone is assassinated, it will be to bring the world under one rule, under Lucifer. So, of course, Christian Bale walking by the what? Trump Towers in American Psycho. Giving the Donald Trump hand signals. Again, the hand signals, these are all the secret society hand signals. Christian Bale doing it throughout American Psycho, just like Trump does. And of course, I show you Trump Tower. This is the upside down pyramid. It's the symbol. Look at Trump Tower. It's got 6 by 6 by 6 bushes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 columns too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 columns. 6 bushes by 6 by 6. Upside down pyramid, which stands for what? The divine feminine. In the movie The Devil's Advocate, which they also filmed a part of The Devil's Advocate, key scenes of The Devil's Advocate filmed where? In Trump Tower, in Trump's penthouse. And Donald Trump's name was even used in the movie. One of the actresses goes, I heard Donald Trump was supposed to be here tonight. Guess he had a meeting with Mark Zuckerman. And there's an upside down pyramid, which tells you, and we'll get these a little bit bigger, and so on and so forth. Trump tweet using Batman music, yanked for copyright. Of course, Donald Trump rallies plays Sympathy for the Devil. Sympathy for the Devil played at Trump rallies. He plays Sympathy for the Devil at his rallies, along with a lot of other nefarious songs. Rally, Trump rally, Sympathy for the Devil. Rolling Stones ask him to stop music. That's all, folks. Everybody that acts like they hate him is to make his base go, he's got to be telling the truth. Look at all that hate him. That's part of the what? The PSYOP. What is a PSYOP? It's part of the psychological operation. The fallen angels know how your mind works. It's just like the QAnon cult. They sit there and they show you, I've been watching these QAnon videos, and they sit there and they show you 80% of the truth. They show you all this truth, and then they take you down the wrong rabbit hole. They take you down the wrong lane, making you think Donald Trump's the good guy. No. They just sat there and show, and all these people that are playing some of these roles as the bad guy that QAnon shows you in these movies, I mean, in these, that lady shows you in these QAnon videos, those people did all of that on purpose to be part of this theater, which is of Donald Trump, the Antichrist, to get his base to believe he is fighting crime. He is Batman. So you see this scene here in The Dark Knight where he jumps down, jumps down, jumps down. Same scene in American Psycho, Christian Bale, because Donald Trump is the American Psycho. He is the Antichrist. He drops that right down and it lands right on top of a lady, just like he jumped down and landed right on top of that Trump. I knew a van. I mean, I knew when I saw that scene in American Psycho, I said, it's straight out of Batman. Straight out of that. Straight out of that. Oh, unbelievable. The man's name in American Psycho was Patrick Bateman. Well, I noticed Trick is part of the name Patrick, and Paw, I looked it up. What does Paw mean? Well, it means dad, daddy, father. Who's the father of lies? Father of tricks? Satan. Bateman, Batman. Bateman is nothing more than Batman with an E in the middle, as in IE, in essence. Bat essence of man. Patrick Bateman, Vice President. Batman, Batman, Batman. American Psycho, his name was Father of Lies, Batman. So you go to another movie called Sharky's Machine, one of my favorite movies. Why did the Lord make it my favorite movie? Because he wanted me to see this too. The man that plays Donald Trump in the movie, born September 11th. That's their favorite. That's their favorite day, September 11th, because it's their favorite Bible verse. Revelation 9:11. Apollyon, the beast. I mean, the angel of the bottomless pit, Satan. Papa in the movie, talking about this character named Donald, who is a politician who has 5 children, just like Donald Trump. I just want to know who shellacks his freaking hair. What was Donald Trump's main thing? Everybody talk about his hair, his hair, his hair, his hair, his hair. Got a wife and 5 kids. We got him by the jewels. See, wife and 5 kids, just like Trump. After the election, it'll be a different world for us. That's Trump. I mean, that's the Donald character, the politician talking to his prostitute girlfriend. Just me, 24 hours. 24 hours of Le Mans this year is the 88th running, and Christian Bale happened to play in the movie, the 24 hours of Le Mans. And this year is the 88th running, and 88 means Trump. So it's very interesting. That's why I screenshotted, took a picture of that one. He says Christ. See it down at the bottom. He says Christ. Just in time as the shot is showing you the obelisk. The Peachtree Plaza Hotel, I believe it is. It is nothing more than a hotel that is an obelisk, which is the lost penis of Osiris. And he says Christ. It is for their Antichrist. You think you're God? The devil replies, heaven forbid. See, he's playing the role of Satan. He's playing the role of Donald Trump, the Antichrist, who ends up indwelt with the spirit of Satan. This is a very key conversation in the movie. Because in Isaiah 14, of course, Satan will believe he is God. I will ascend. It's the 5 I wills. Look it up. I believe it's Isaiah 14, verses 12, 13, and 14, I believe it is. And we can look it up real quick. Verse 13, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars. I will sit upon the mount of congregation of the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. It's the Satan, it's the 5 I wills of Satan where he will be. This is the spirit of Satan behind the heavenly king. That's what Isaiah 14 is all about. They're speaking, same with Ezekiel 28. There's the man, and then there's the spirit behind the man. So, you think you're God? And he says, heaven forbid. Jokingly. You can't tell me, Donald, he says. The devil talking to Donald Trump. But perhaps you can learn from me, the devil says to Donald Trump. The prostitute in the movie says, speaking of the devil, or speaking of her pimp, he owns you too. You're just too naive to know it. And of course, everybody who's not a sheep or a lost sheep, what did Jesus say? Year of your father, the devil. He owns you. And most people are too naive to know that they are owned by Satan. That's why they will worship Donald Trump and follow QAnon and all these other things, because there's no truth in them. That moment you realize that Donald Trump is Batman. I don't know who created this, but I would assume Donald Trump's camp did and put this meme out. The Economist magazine, it says the world in 2020. And then it's your eye examination. It says twin Trump exit in 2020. So I believe that Trump gets assassinated in 2020. That's when the Twin Towers go down. The same ones that physically went down in 2001. Remember the movie 2001: A Space Odyssey is all about their world of oath-taking, joining the clubs. I don't know why these... Okay, I guess I'm going back around through. Okay. So anyway... We're going to go through a video my friend Philip did. And remember, to text Donald Trump, it's 88, because 88 is Trump in Gematria. And we've showed you that. I'm not going to show you again. And Gematria is a 2,700-year-old language, over 2,000 years old. It's converting letters to numbers. And they use it in their world. And so when the Lord said it's the number of a man, be wise as serpents. So we're using their fallen angel technology that they use to expose them. And Don Drumpf, because his name was Drumpf, excuse me, his name never was, the family name was. his name was changed to Trump to fit the other prophecy. I come in my Father's name, and ye receive me not. But if one shall come in his own name, him you will receive. And he is here in his own name, the little horn. A horn is a trump is a horn, a trump is a trumpet, a horn is a trumpet. He's here in his own name. He's the little horn of Daniel 7, who wears out the saints. This is exactly what the Antichrist does. So the little horn is the Antichrist. And Donald Trump's address at Trump Tower has 5 multiple addresses at 721 through 725, which happen to perfectly fit the little horn of Daniel 7 passage where he is the acting Antichrist. Daniel 7, 21 through 25, same as Trump Tower addresses. Trump Tower is also used in the movie Devil's Advocate. So this is all not by mistake, folks. This is all very real, very organic. But what I wanted to show you was the 88 is for Trump, but the 22 Trump cards of the Tarot deck. And I need to bring that up. "22 Trump cards of the Tarot deck." Where did I best find that the other day? There was one thing that was really good in that. They had a sliding thing to where I could just slide along and they just gave you all the cards. Oh man. Not going to find it. Oh well. Yeah, that's something I should have prepped for you ahead of time. By the way, there's one other thing I wanted to do. That is to go down and to get my I didn't prep this either. Let me pause this for a second. I don't want to waste your time. Pause recording. All right, resume recording. Philip, I just want to make sure I had your notes because we're going to get into your video in just a second. Do I not have it pulled up?
Hello and welcome to another.
All right, that's Philip's video. We're going to go over that. We're going to mirror that. Philip goes over the cards anyway, so there's no reason for me to pull them up. But you do see that there are 22 the 22 cards of the major arcana are also known as the Trump cards. So the tarot cards have a set of Trump cards that are a set of 22. That's why his podium is 22. There's Phillips' video. I wanted to show y'all real quick about predictive programming. Kobe Bryant. There was a Kobe Bryant.
Another death faker.
There was a Kobe Bryant. Uh-oh. They're going to make me watch a commercial. Oh. And it was a cartoon where Kobe Bryant had a helicopter crash. And then there was a commercial about a Nike commercial about a helicopter crash. So Kobe Bryant's alive. All that stuff is predictive programming. Kobe Bryant went down. Prince, same thing. This says Kobe Bryant helicopter crash hoax. I'll put it in the comments of this video just to give you an idea of how fake everything is around you and how scripted your reality is. David Bowie also, he points out that David Bowie
Now, getting back to the aspect of what happens to these death fakers, I get that question asked all the time. I have no evidence of where they go. I just go by the evidence I can.
They're hidden away. So if you're gonna, I want him to get into this because it's good. David Bowie comes on and talks about David Bowie on a news show.
Improve, and there's no doubt in my mind whatsoever they're faking their deaths. 100%. They're even actually telling us and actually showing us for millions upon millions of people to see right in plain sight with these celebrities. And again,
acting like he's Jack Stevens.
Really emphasized how these celebrities
and he does it by the teeth. Whoops.
From the Middle East.
Sorry. Sorry about that. I hit the wrong button. Let me stop recording again. All right, resume recording. I was on the wrong spot anyway.
Passed away on Sky
See
News.
the teeth? David Bowie's teeth?
Jack Stevens.
Jack Stevens. David Bowie's teeth. Jack Stevens' teeth.
Here's the real
do
Jack
not match
Stevens,
David Bowie's teeth. So
teeth
David Bowie came on and talked about David Bowie.
Different person. And just look at this closer comparison. Definitely
the
same teeth. The teeth don't lie. The same long teeth in the front. And again, Jack Stevens, the real Jack Stevens, and David Bowie. 100%.
So they say Jack Stevens comes on.
This video. And again, this is very relevant. Again, talking about Kobe and Robin Williams and again, Prince and all the other death fakers.
This guy,
when it comes through our rig system, our rig reality. And this is going to be after he supposedly passes away. Take a listen.
Talk now more about David Bowie and his influence. Let's bring in
fake.
Jack
All
Stevens,
your news is fake.
Director of Fortune.
David Bowie right there.
Fortress music.
Fortress music.
Yeah. Now you're going to notice while he's speaking, David Bowie, in this ridiculous disguise, you're going to see a lot of.
You can't stop laughing.
Looks like some kind of distortion right in front of his face, trying to throw people off. And of course, he's smiling. He's supposed to be, again, a day actor. He was an actor as well. I think a part of me died. He's talking about.
I sort of lived through John Lennon's death, Elvis's death.
That's David Bowie.
And sadly, this one's affected me more than any other. I mean,
oh, what a joke!
He wants to start laughing. So I wanted to show you all that. Why? Because David Bowie, they wanted to go ahead and remove him from the world because he did a very satanic video. Black Star. I'm a black star. I'm a black star. Something happened. He's got the three men on the cross sexually gyrating. So that is why David Bowie went ahead and took his exit. Okay, so you get the idea? All right. We're going to continue. We're going to go through the photos. And then we're going to end up going through Phillips' video about the tarot cards. And if you couldn't see it earlier, I'm going to go through them again. I have characteristics. This is American Psycho, Christian Bale. Remember, Christian Bale is playing Donald Trump in all of his movies. Well, at least in most of his movies. Flesh, blood, skin, hair. He has all the characteristics, but not a single identifiable emotion, except for greed and disgust. Again, father of lies, tricks, Batman. Ordering the Corona in the movie American Psycho, the Twin Towers, the Donald Trump hand signals. See, this is actually, you can actually see this better. Batman Begins on June 15th. I want you to look. When was Trump born? June 14th. So, and he was born late at night, if I'm not mistaken, like at 10:52 or 10 something p.m. So the next day is his first real full day of life, June 15th. And what is it? Batman Begins, the day after Donald Trump's birthday. Oh, this is too easy. Is it not too easy? Trump tweeting Batman music copyright issues. By the way, you look up Christian Bale in Gematria, you get Rider on the White Horse. Can't make this stuff up, man. Trump decides to put on a mask. Trump posing with Bale. We've already showed you this. Trump at the Dark Knight Rises. Devil's Advocate, using the Trump hand signal, of course, which is nothing more than the divine feminine And then I showed you that same scene in Batman, the exact same scene. He drops that chainsaw right on top of a lady. It is nasty. It was a nasty movie. This is QAnon. QAnon. That's QAnon again. And this is Quintar. I think QAnon, that's the male deity with the 5 horns, Satan's 5 I wills. Quintar. I think that's what the Q is for, and I think the anon is for the female. It's melding, QAnon is melding the Japanese goddess Kanan with, that's a goddess, and that's the god, the male, Quintar. And there's the 5, he is the bull from the sea with the 5 horns, and that's Satan's 5 I wills that we've just covered. So interesting. Told you the guy was born on September 11th that played him. We don't think that's an accident. I just want to know in the movie Sharky's Machine, I just want to know who shellacks his friggin' hair. Whose hair? Donald's hair. What was Donald? Politician with 5 kids, wife and 5 kids. So Donald Trump is throughout. Now, how do they do this? They do this because of the ghost in the machine that I talked to you about. The ghost in the machine has been in the machine writing the script for the world and for Hollywood and presidential speeches and all kinds of stuff since the 1920s, possibly since the early 1900s. You live in a scripted reality. That's why everything is perfectly scripted. But be ye as wise as serpents and as harmless as doves. God's got his sheep out there understanding the truth. Do you think you're God? Donald says to Satan. Sorry, this one's out of place. In the movie, Burt Reynolds says Christ, and there's the Egyptian obelisk in the form of a hotel. Do you think you're God? Satan replies, heaven forbid, jokingly. You can't tell me, Donald, he later says in conversation, but perhaps you can learn from me. Satan is saying to Donald, he owns you too, she says, speaking about her pimp, which is actually Satan. Of course, like we told you, Satan owns the world. And of course, the Donald Trump meme, the twin 2020 Trump exit. So we think Donald Trump is going to make an exit. I guess that's the last one, huh? That's the last one. We went all the way through. I've got some auxiliary ones that I wanted to make for y'all. Don Drumpf, 666 in Gematria. Contagion came out September 9th, 2011. This is all about 9/11, 9/11, 9/11, 9/9/11, 9/11. Contagion, that's when it came out. What was Contagion about? This fake Contagion, which is about giving him his corona. Apollo led in his chariot by Aurora. In the Batman movie, Aurora is in these scenes. The Aurora shooting for the Batman movie. Remember the shooting that took place allegedly at the Batman premieres? It was premiering in Aurora, Colorado. Aurora is the goddess who is on the chariot leading Apollo. Who is Apollo? Revelation 9:11. Apollyon, the god. The very satanic upside down. Well, they're all satanic. Ain't none no worse than the other. But Lil Wayne shooting, Aurora, Colorado. Covering his ears, gunshot, 12 skeletons. What does 12 stand for? The church. The church. 12 apostles. 12 tribes of Israel. 12 times 12, 144,000. 144 stands for the church also. Aurora building shown during the Batman movie. Can't really make it out really well. During the movie you can, but in that picture you cannot. But the Aurora building was also in the movie Batman. The shooter was emulating the Joker. By the way, all the characteristics of Batman's villains are characteristics of God for his sheep. And of course, Jesus spoke in what? Parables. What are parables? Well, they're riddles. They're only understood by who? The sheep. 12 killed, Batman, theater shooting, Aurora, Colorado. Aurora, the Greek and Roman mythology, personification of dawn, the daughter of the Titan, Helos, the sun god, the moon, and Shalene, the moon goddess. So, yeah, there's the Bat coin that just came out. Why? Well, because Batman is the president of the world right now, as president of the United States. The whole world is bowing down and paying homage to him through this ritual event. Notice how every country was on the exact same squad. They all shut down. They're all three in jail, under house arrest. Everybody. The coronavirus originated in bats. Well, of course, the Beatles, I believe, Beast, Trump. That's why these two letters stood out among the rest. Beast, Trump. And what's up at the top? Got a crown, got a corona at the top. I can't make out what that is. And we'll get to that. That was for the Russian Putin. When Putin's walking, he walks by a Batman logo, all staged. Batman, Contagion, in the DC comic books. Donald Trump receiving his corona. Fake Contagion. That's all this is. Contagion, Shadow of the Bat, DC Comics. I threw this in there, Donald 88 for Donald Trump in the movie, the Donnie Darko, which stands for Donald Darkness. You want to watch, and in the Batman movies, you got Don's Mart. I think this is Dark Knight Rises. Don's Mart. 2017, after Trump took office, there was a solar eclipse. So another solar eclipse making the X. By 2024, this Earth will be wiped out. We will no longer be the same. Fox, that represents Trump, 666. And don't forget, who was the guy helping out Batman? What was his name? Lucius Fox. That was the African-American's name that ran Wayne Enterprises, that helped him out, that did all of his, work for him. His name was Lucius Fox. Lucius stands for Lucifer. Just like there used to be Lucifer Trust. Later, they changed it to Lucius Trust for the United Nations. Gotham literally means homestead where goats are kept. I've got this on there because there's something strange about the last two first ladies we've had. And I'm not going to get into it now. But, never mind. You had to go 88 miles an hour and Back to the Future. 88 means Trump. And the license tag came off, said out of time. When Trump took over, we are out of time. There's Putin. See that? I couldn't make out what that is. I wanted to find out where he was, where this Batman logo was entrenched into this massive political building. Putin, of course, walking by. Of course, all staged. Sandy Hook. Sandy Hook. See where it says Gotham, that yellow Gotham right there? Gotham City, Sandy Hook. The end is near, they posed for. Trump Tower, 721 through 725, Fifth Avenue, Manhattan. That whole building is built in occultic. Of course, all of New York City basically is. This video came out in 2012. It's called The Ghost in the Machine did it. It's computer animation. It's called iPet Goat 2 because during 9/11, when the Twin Towers went down, it was Pet Goat they were reading in the classroom. Look at the upside down pyramid that Trump uses, that Trump sits, and there's the hair. None of the other 12 have the hair or the upside down pyramid. This was in 2012. These were all presidents sitting there, by the way. 12 presidents, also representing 12 months. But yeah, interesting. So that's it of that portion of this production. What are we going to go to next? I think we've done everything. We're going to go to Phillips' video now. And just to make sure they can't see the future or see the future, Ghost in the Machine, Ephesians 6:12. These were notes that I have. Space Force equals NASA equals aliens equals fallen angels equals artificial intelligence equals 5G technology equals mark of the beast. Communist on one side, Christians on the other. That's the atheist against the Christians. Albert Pike said destroying both atheism and Christianity and bringing one world under Lucifer. Tower crown has a crown falling off. I think that's Trump's assassination we'll get to. Trump, blood red moon on October 31st this year. I think he might be assassinated on the October 28th, which means he will have arisen 3 days afterwards, theoretically, because he's Christ. He's going to rise from the dead. There's an upload TV show on Netflix. There's a TV show on Netflix called Upload, and I believe that you will be uploading your demons into your body when you take the mark. Trump, Antichrist, and the trilogies, the 3 trilogies at the end times. You got the beast, the false prophet, and the image that speaks. The beast is Antichrist, Trump, possessed by Satan. The false prophet is uploaded, superhero, at the superhero status that we showed you earlier. Satan uploaded into Obama or Pope or Trump clone or you name it. It could be Mike Pence. I have no idea. Or a fallen angel if Satan can't be in 3 places at once, but wondering if this isn't how Satan, because see, Satan's not God. He can only be in one place, but can he be 3 places at once if possessing Donald Trump in the spirit, if through the machine he is uploaded into the false prophet, and then he is in the machine, the image that speaks, which might be an image that looks like Trump, or I believe will be the cube, the Kaaba. All right, let's get the Phillips video.
Welcome to another video here. Today I'm going to be going over this Economist magazine cover, The World in 2017.
And remember, we just showed you the Economist magazine earlier that had the Trump 20, and Philip sent me that too, if I'm not mistaken, didn't you, Philip? I think you did. So I really appreciate Philip. Found Philip on YouTube, and now we're Facebook friends. I encourage everybody to come find me on Facebook. If you like my videos, come find me on Facebook. This is where we can communicate very well. Okay, we can communicate this way. And don't forget, to text Trump, it's 88 for Trump, 022, 22 what for these tarot cards that Philip is talking about.
I decided to go back over this after seeing some things that stood out to me. People have been saying, researchers, conspiracy theorists have been saying that this magazine and this yearly article here, or yearly copy that they come out with every year, has cryptid messages and future events that they plan on doing.
So what
yes,
Philip, he's telling you,
because tarot,
that this is predictive programming. Once a year, the Economist magazine comes out, and he's telling you it's predictive
cards are
programming.
used for fortune telling and telling the future. And so they're saying, yes, here's our future that we plan on creating.
Scripted
they are
reality.
not prophets, or they can't see into the future. They create these events that they tell us about.
And of course, God allows this, and I guess we should cover that. Everything that goes on, God's already declared it. He's ordained it, declaring it, ordaining it. He's declared the end, which is Revelation, from the beginning, which is Genesis. From ancient times to the things that have not yet been done. He's declared every bit. It's saying, my counsel shall stand. I will do my pleasure. So this is all God's doing. So God, when you read Job, you realize that Satan does nothing without God's permission. So everything that the fallen angels are doing, they're just bringing about God's will, the end times, the book of Revelation, and the other passages that speak to the end times. This is God again. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. And of course, Proverbs. The Lord hath made all things for himself. Yes, even the wicked for the day of evil. What's the day of evil? The abomination that causes desolation, when you're going to see the beast, the false prophet, and the image that speaks, all standing in the holy place, or in the holy place, blaspheming God.
Well, the first thing that stands out to me is you notice the whole magazine cover is space with the words Planet Trump in the right corner. And of course, Trump.
One thing I want to tell you about space, there is no space. Space is just the realm of the fallen angels, the prince of the power of the air. We live under the dome. The sun and moon are about 8,000 miles above us, and they rotate via magnetic field, tight circles for the sun in the summer, broad in the winter. And you go south, you're going to run into Antarctica because we're surrounded by ice. And all the countries have a treaty not to mess with Antarctica. Why? Countries can't agree on anything, but they agree on two things: don't mess with Antarctica, and shutting the country down so the Antichrist can receive his crown, his corona. So when they talk about space, what's that? Californication lyrics. Space may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement. They're telling you. They're telling you the truth. NASA is Hollywood with a launching pad or two. That's all it is. That's all it is. So anytime Trump talks about Space Force, because he's creating Space Force, because this is the final. See, space means aliens, which really mean fallen angels. I think that was what was in the notes that I talked about. Space Force equals Space Force, or NASA equals aliens, which equals fallen angels, which equals artificial intelligence, because they are the ghost in the machine. The aliens, I mean, the fallen angels are in the artificial intelligence. That is what artificial intelligence is. They're not artificial at all, and they're very intelligent. That's why they tell you they're smarter than man. They can do anything a man, because once you give them an avatar, you give them a body, they can do anything. They're out of this world. They're like angels, because they are angels. Anyway.
Did something that hadn't been done in probably over 100 years. He made a new branch of the military called Space Force. So there's one thing. The next thing you'll notice is with all these cards here, they're all lined up except two of them. The Judgment card and the Star card are both leaning. Now, they do everything for a reason, and all the art on these cards are for a reason. We're going to go through those. But I believe the reason these two cards are tilted is because they're out of order. So if I pick up the Judgment card and I scoot the World card left, and then I scoot the Hermit card left, and then I slide the Star card up, and I put the Judgment in the very last place there, I believe that's the order these were supposed to be in. So let's go through these in that order.
Good stuff, Phil.
Here's a blow up of that, a little bit better quality. So I believe that these two are out of order. And here's the order that I believe they should be in. The Tower.
Trump Tower.
The Tower is a card that in tarot, it means calamity, disaster.
Satan fell like what? Satan fell like lightning. And Trump Tower, of course, is built to receive the goddess. I showed you all the pagan, you know, the 6 columns and the 6 by 6 by 6 upside down pyramid. I know it has more meaning than that, but, and I asked my friend Joey, I was like, in the movie Ghostbusters, was that supposed to be Trump Tower that was receiving all of that demonic stuff going on? I need to watch Ghostbusters, what I need to do.
Disaster, impeding change, those things. So, you know, the very first card, they're telling us that there's going to be disaster in Trump's presidency. We see here to the left and right, it looks like they've divided the people between.
And Albert Pike said, destroying both during this, when 1/4 of the earth is removed, which is Revelation 6:8, through war and famine, there's going to be so much death. The rider of the pale horse, 1/4 of the earth is removed. Well, we're approaching 8 billion, so that's 2 billion people are going to be killed. Now, I don't know if they're just going to be killed by the new technology. I think it's going to be bombs and electricity going off and starvation, which means, you know, the famine. So I think it's going to be war and new technology, you know, which will create a lot of the illness and the sickness. But Albert Pike said, defeating, during that process of that war, defeating both atheism and Christianity, bringing up one world under Lucifer, because all the other world religions, it'll fit all the other ones like a glove. The fake Christianity or the Catholicism, which are one and the same. Today's Protestant churches, none of them teach the truth. There is no free will. And I do an extensive Bible study on that. That's why they celebrate the Christ Mass, the pagan Christmas tree and all that, Christ Mass. It's all Catholicism. All roads lead to Rome. And so it's going to defeat the fake Christianity and the atheism, which of course is fake also. Obviously there's a God. And all the other religions will be encompassed. Hinduism, Buddhism, it'll when the Antichrist starts talking, they'll all fall right in line with it. So will the fake Christians.
I guess Christians and communists. This looks like the old USSR flag.
Bringing one world under
Also,
Lucifer.
I think it is telling us of the so-called Russian collusion that was so long. Democrats, and so we see that right after Trump became president, we had the Greenfell Tower, which caught fire and burnt.
Yeah.
And that happened in June of 2017.
That was,
and we see here that the construction was started in 72 and the tower burnt in 2017, and that is 45 years. And of course, Trump is the 45th president.
Like it. Good stuff.
And I'm sure if we went through this, there'd be way more.
They showed that too in Donald Trump, the Antichrist is Born, which is one of the, I need to put that one down in the bottom of this also. I believe it's an Angel White Born Again. That one there, Donald Trump, the Antichrist is Born. They talk about that building you're talking about there, Philip. They sure do. Starts off with it, if I'm not mistaken.
We are defined by what?
Of a plane.
Because you used to church, and I still read.
Anyway, they do, and I'll put that in the bottom. So that was good job there, Philip, that you did there. Yep. They brought up that burning that building that you're talking about.
Connections that we could make to Trump or to Illuminati powers. Go back to the tower. How the card looks in the tarot deck, and
now this crown. What I was thinking there, it looks like again, is this Satan falling like lightning coming into the Trump Tower situation? Is this when Trump gets killed, or the clone gets killed? And remember, the two towers fall. That's what the Twin Towers was all about, was the Trump, the real Trump, and the clone both being removed. And then, of course, in The Dark Knight Rises, it shows you the flags, the images, you know, the flags being torn. In other words, America has fallen. That is why Trump is out of the way. Once Trump gets removed, we're going to get into martial law, which, what is martial law? By the way, this one talked about cloning. That was interesting. Mar-a-Lago, that's a weird name. I looked it up. It gives you some Spanish. You know, there's always going to be one for the surface, and then there's always going to be an esoteric meaning. What does Mar-a-Lago really stand for? Well, I see martial, and I haven't got this from any YouTube site or anybody. This is just what the Lord showed me. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, it's my flesh. If I'm right, it's the Holy Spirit. So you got martial law with an A and a go in the middle, which means you got martial law, a go. Martial law is a go. The only thing missing is the is. All the other letters stand for martial law, a go. There's the martial law, a go. The go takes place when his removal event takes place. Clone, his assassination. And I think that might be, so once Trump's removed, that's the Twin Towers going down. Remember, one tower comes back up. But once Trump's removed, I think we'll get martial law. I think the club members will hit the streets, creating riots and chaos, both sides, whites, blacks. They rule both sides. The divide and conquer paradigm. Country will get put on lockdown, martial law. And at that point, World War III will begin also. I believe that maybe China or somebody will be blamed for his assassination. If issues in the Middle East will start taking place. I don't know where it'll start first. Middle East, us and China, it doesn't matter. War and famine are all part of those, what people call the four horses of the apocalypse. So, and if it's already opened, Revelation 6, the seal is already open because Trump has received his corona.
I'm showing this for main reason was you see the crown on top, and of course we know that corona means crown.
Good job.
And
yep,
a catastrophe with the people jumping out of the tower, which is very reminiscent to 9/11.
Yep.
I think this is
Good
depicting
stuff,
the 5G. The 5G is being unrolled under the Trump presidency. And we see all these things are connected here. These 6 things are connected on the bottom. This closed book here is education. We have a painting, art, and we have the 2 masks, entertainment. And we have the 2 buildings that look to me to be government buildings.
Good stuff.
And then we have the pyramid, which is, on your dollar bill. And it says in Latin that we have conquered the new world.
And that's kind of the technology. The pyramids were actually like a technology of how to connect or how to contact the aliens, or actually the fallen angels.
Order. So, this is
Connective
their
tool.
New World Order. And then I think it's significant that up top you see another book.
Sun God.
Opened. It looks like the Bible to me. You have a sun or a light, and then you have this ghostly painting figure.
Sun God is Lucifer.
And they're not connected. And I think this is symbolizing the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, and how they are in heaven and they're not connected to this.
Might be like Satan. I don't know. The trilogy. I don't know.
To this New World Order. you know, the Bible talks about how depicting that. Here we have the hermit card, and the hermit is a social distancer.
Oh, the toilet paper. Yes. Philip pointed out that he thought that the TP and the toilet paper, and it's X'd out. See, because the toilet paper being removed is a psychological operation. I think we all know that they could have put toilet paper right back on the shelves no time flat, right? What do you think's easier, putting red meat on the shelf or toilet paper? I bought organic meat just as far as last week here in the middle of May. But toilet paper is not on the shelf. Why? Because they could have restricted it. They could have put toilet paper, said you're only going to take, this amount, that amount. But see, they're doing it on purpose because the people that run the world run the businesses. That's why most every business has a pyramid logo, 5-pointed star logo, black and white checkered flooring logo, or sun symbolism logo. Sunbank, Sunoco, SunTrust. There's sun symbolism everywhere. Nations Bank has like sun rays, so anyway, good stuff, Philip. Good. This is good.
Social distance himself from others because he's a hermit. And then we have a great crowd down here who are green, and green is the color of poison.
I would have
green
never
is the
picked up
color of
on
germs,
that hermit.
green is the color of viruses.
Social distance.
So we have this crowd of green people.
Good
So
stuff.
I don't really know what that means, but what really occurred to me was that
Toilet
there's,
paper.
in these
You
two
nailed
flags, there's 3 T's and 3 P's. And so it really seems like they're saying no TP, no toilet paper. So it really seems like it.
Good one, Phil. That was good.
Has stop has.
He nailed it.
Maybe those are a stretch, but that's what I'm seeing. The star card, the next card, and again we see the color green, and we see children's faces, and the star card means that abandonment, theft, loss, and to me these things.
I have been hearing that the coming technology, whatever number that was I just said, it's followed by the letter G, and yeah, it's supposed to be, it's what's of course will carry the fallen angels, and that's why Satan fell like lightning. That's how they discovered electricity. And Benjamin Franklin discovered electricity by getting hit by lightning. In other words, Satan came to them and gave them the technology of electricity. That's why you've got a rock band called what? AC/DC. They do the song Hell's Bells, very satanic group. And so it is through the AC/DC, it is through the electricity that you get Satan, who fell by lightning, into the technology. And that is where they started telling man how to build and develop computer machinery, which will eventually bring them in and allow them to be uploaded into people, which when they take the mark, that's why once you take the mark, you can't turn back, because you're no longer you're possessed. And it is not a vaccine. I do an extensive Bible study. Vaccine is not the mark. Bible proofing. I give you every single Bible verse, 58 minutes worth, connecting everything about that abomination of desolation, the mark of the beast, everything that has to occur, all from Daniel 7, Daniel 2, Daniel 9, Revelation 13, 2 Thessalonians 2, Matthew 24, bounce around from verse to verse to verse. So make sure, only 172 views. I hate that. It needs to have more. That one needs to have more. This one's already got 187. That's good. That's super important. Boy, anytime you talk about Donald Trump, they just jump right up, don't they? That one, at least, artificial intelligence got 419 at least. But I'll tell you what, Donald Trump's first assassination has got over 1,000. 1.1K. Donald Trump, the Antichrist, Part 1. And that's even poor sound quality. If that one's got 1.1, to me, this one should have 2.1. I'm telling you. And this one should have over 1,000. Good grief. That one right there, John 3:16, should have over 1,000. Bible proofing about the vaccine not being the mark. That should have over 1,000. It's the title that throws people off. They think it's just about the vaccine, and it's not. It's not. And I need to get that title right, or just need to reproduce it and change the title. Anyway, I digress. Let's get back with. So what I think these are, what I told Philip, was possibly through the new technologies, the schools will be targeted. And children will be ill. So I don't know. It's a theory. I hope not. But,
Look like little viruses, little green viruses with children's faces, and we are right now being programmed children. So this is called the comment right here, and right now we have card, and the first thing that comes, that you see here is this big mushroom cloud. We see a red luminary here. I mean, in the Bible it says the moon will be turned to red, blood red. We see these two bugs.
We've got one. We've got one on October 31st. We've got a blood red moon, exactly what Trump was born under. Comes again. Trump was born under a lunar eclipse, and there's a lunar eclipse on Halloween this year. So I'm wondering, there's a solar eclipse that lands on the summer solstice this year. How rare is that? There's a lunar eclipse that lands on Halloween. How unreal is that? Maybe because Halloween was always set to be All Hallows Eve because of this year, this day. This is their year. This is their 2020 vision. This is when the new age, the vision comes alive. That's why 2020 was always considered to have perfect vision. Again, they run everything around us.
Coming out. They, like I said, they do all this art very out of the abyss, out of the bottomless pit. So another thing we see here is a dead fish, dead plants, and what appears to be gold nuggets just thrown about like they're worthless. So we have, worthless money, worthless gold, and
might be that, or the hail falling. Because remember, hail falls is, I don't
no
know. Your guess is good as mine, Philip.
And let's just continue here. The next card will be the Magician, and we see here that here we have the halo symbol behind him, meaning divinity. We have the infinity symbol, meaning immortality. We have him he's pointing up with his scepter and down, and that is the as above, so below.
Very good.
Baphomet pose. He's got a VR set on his forehead, which is very biblical. That the mark of the beast will be either on your hand or in your hand or on your forehead, or possibly in your forehead.
Yeah, I wonder if some people will take a chip in their hand and other people will put on the Neuralink. I don't know. But remember, you have to worship the image of the beast in order to receive the mark. And death has to be offered in order for something to be the mark of the beast. Those that do not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Boom. It's not like you're going to be tricked into taking a vaccine and woo, oops, took the mark. Nope, you'll know. You'll know. The mark of the beast doesn't come until after the war, the death, the famine. We haven't even gotten into that yet. Right now, Trump's getting his corona. That's all this is.
Whatever translation you're reading, but and becoming immortal. And at the bottom here, I'm not really sure what's going on with the printing of 3D houses, but if you have any other comments on what these things could mean, please leave them in the comment section. The next,
you said it. I skipped over it. You thought maybe it was because God builds us many mansions, and that's Satan building his mansions for his people.
Card is the Wheel of Fortune card. This is really just seems to be symbolizing the no voting. You have the 2 voting boxes down below, both X'd out. You have 3 leaders.
We won't get fooled again. That's the song by The Who, and of course The Who stands for the World Health Organization. That was the rock band The Who. And we won't get fooled again means it's I forget the lyrics, but it's it's the same person you just elected was the same person you just elected. They're all the same.
That are tied up, which the Bible talks about in Daniel, that the little horn, the Antichrist, will remove 3 world leaders when he takes power. So that's what this could be symbolizing. And then the last card is the judgment card with Trump on top of the world. I'm not sure what's really in his right hand. Maybe that's another crown, or it could be a diadem, which is,
I guess that's, I don't know, receiving his corona. I don't know.
very significant. And I've been researching that a little bit. But he also has a staff with a phoenix on it. And of course, the phoenix is the rising from the ashes. Okay, now here is a blow up of the world in 2019, and it's right here, very blurry, but that's it. And so here it is. Here it is blown up. So you have the first rider, which is he has a crown. He has a bow, and he was given a crown. The word bow is from the.
Anyway, good stuff by Philip. And I'm not going to put his Facebook on here because that's his privacy. And but I'd like to promote his channel, Phil, and I'll put it in the comments also. What else did I say I was going to put in the comments? See, I can't go back and watch these to remember what it was. I said I was going to put, oh, Donald Trump and Antichrist is born. I'll make sure I put that in there too. And if it was something else, I apologize for forgetting. But anyway, great job, Phil. And come find me on Facebook. And or my email is Trey Stokes, Trae, just like my YouTube channel, Stokes. I'm sorry. Let's start over. My email is Trey, Trae, which if you can't hear what I'm saying clearly, it's the Trae that my YouTube channel is spelled like. So it's Trae 455 Trae 455 at hotmail.com. Please put YouTube in the subject, or YouTube sub in the subject, so I'll know. And don't send me a link or you'll go right into spam. Just give me your words, type me something out, obviously not too long, and so on and so forth. But I appreciate all of y'all. I'm communicating with so many of y'all on Facebook Messenger, and I'm able to answer questions. There's Val, there's Marie, there's Dawn, and of course Lori, Angie, and Vicky, and Marissa and I chat. But I feel like I'm leaving people out. Eddie and I right now are studying the Bible. We got a little, he said she's little controversy thing going on, so we'll try to solve that. He says Daniel 9:27 is not about the Antichrist, and he's about to do a video on that, and man, I hope he doesn't. So we're working on that right now. We love each other, you know. We're all in Christ. We're just trying to figure everything out, you know. I don't ever want to pretend like I know all the answers. It's just that anything that you don't agree on, you got to bring me Bible verses. So he did send me a link I noticed while this video was taking place, so I'll study it. But I appreciate each and every one of y'all. And anybody out there that's watching my videos, somebody, Tina Marie, we were communicating from my videos. We found each other on Instagram, and we've been messaging, and she just came to me on Facebook. So, and she's got a lot of good stuff. She sent me a lot of good stuff today. She's into the numbers, which is, I consider that my forte too. I was always big into numbers, and she's drawing a lot of conclusions about numbers and making a lot of connections. So we all get into all kind of stuff. We just always want to make sure we don't go down the wrong rabbit holes. That's all, you know, best we can. All right. So, all right. Love y'all. See ya.